There's a certain look, feel, and vibe to Sega's arcade hit OutRun. You can tell once you've played it. And with how influential the game is, its DNA can be found in tons of games over the decades, from both the big names in racers to plenty of passionate independent developers. One of those talented indies goes by the name OnStore, who sought to recapture the OutRun spirit, plus the styles of the late 80s to early 90s with his game Slipstream in 2018. For as much of an unabashed love letter Slipstream is to the games and era that inspired it, it also has some ideas of its own that give the game as much substance as it does style. So with introductions out of the way, this is Slipstream, a rewind to that breezy OutRun style. Slipstream is all about driving on your choice of scenic route through branching highway stages, dodging traffic and racing against the clock to reach the finish line. While that's also the premise of OutRun, Slipstream adds some elements in the gameplay department to make it more than just an homage. Chief among them is the game's namesake mechanic, slipstreaming. By drafting with another car ahead of you for a few seconds, you'll get a temporary speed boost, and can maintain that higher speed by staying in the draft of other cars without hitting anything. While building up a slipstream is a lot easier on straights, it's also possible to pull off on turns, especially while drifting to get just the right angle. Drifting works like it does in OutRun 2, where you briefly let off the gas, tap the brake while turning, and get back on the gas to start sliding, applying the brakes when necessary if you drift too wide. You can even switch drifting directions just like in that game to fly through S-curves. With how fast you're going, mistakes can happen. While you can take a few bumps against the sides of the track, too many hits crashes your car, costing you precious seconds. However, the rewind button takes you back in time for up to 5 seconds, and gives you another chance to try things differently. There's a cooldown on rewinds whenever you use one, so keeping your driving mostly clean will ensure the button's always ready should you need it. The game has a nice flow state, as you go between drifting through turns, dodging traffic, and lining up for slipstreams. It all makes every road trip to the finish a fast and exhilarating one, but also not too frustrating for those who might need help meeting the timer's demands. Every track in Slipstream can be raced on as both a point-to-point sprint or a lap-based circuit, and in either forward or reverse directions. These locales tour through city streets, seaside beaches, open valleys, and some real-world inspired locations. Speaking of inspired, it's no secret that quite a few stages are named and designed after levels from Sonic games, which I find charming. Make the most out of your love letter while you're at it, in my opinion. Each stage takes a little less than a minute to get through, and is jam-packed with lots of winding turns, inclines, and beautiful scenery in the foreground and background. Some upcoming turns can be a bit hard to see, so thankfully there's a compass on screen that indicates which direction and how sharp the next turn will be, and warns you early enough to react accordingly. The base game has 15 tracks at the start, plus 5 unlockable ones, and 7 more from post-launch updates, with options to shuffle the order you race on them, making each run feel even more unique with how varied every stage is. Slipstream's garage is a handful of royalty-free, real-world cars, with their designs lovingly translated into sprites, just without the badges. These include the hero car, the Type 23, or a Nissan 300ZX, the Aurora is a Mitsubishi 3000 GT, and the Spectre is a Lotus Esprit, to name a few. Each car has its unique balance between top speed, acceleration, and handling. Some are all-rounders, others start slow but fly when they get up to speed, and others are easy to control in turns when drifting. Each car also comes in 2 additional paint colors if the defaults aren't to your liking. Every car is capable of finishing and winning races, it's merely a matter of what you feel like driving. You also choose between manual and automatic drifting, and a weight class which further adjusts the car's ease of use. While the game's official cars are cool, I have to admit that my favorite car comes courtesy of the Steam Workshop, a gorgeous recreation of the Ferrari F40 in this game's art style, which only further nails the classic OutRun vibes for me. I'm also a fan of the top speed beasts, which reward mistake-free driving with speeds over 250 km/h with the heavy class in slipstreaming. The sluggish acceleration and cornering are only problems if you hit things after all. Slipstream's presentation is a stylish tribute to the looks and sounds of the 80s and 90s. The pseudo 3D engine the game was built on combines 3D environments and objects with highly detailed sprite textures and deliberate animation frames, creating a modern rendition of the arcade superscaler look. The visual effect shines the brightest whenever you're flying by rows of scenery on both sides of the track, which also conveys the satisfying sense of speed. The layered backgrounds have plenty of parallax scrolling to make the game screen more dynamic. The VHS filter applied when pausing or rewinding is a cute touch, makes the game feel even more like the product of a bygone time. Things only feel faster when the anime speedlines and whooshing soundbite kick in while slipstreaming. Add in the flawless 60 frames per second and a touch of motion blur, and it can be hard to take your eyes off this game. If you love synthwave and vaporwave music, Slipstream's soundtrack was made for you. There's songs suited for high-speed action and more low-tempo cruises, and you can change which song plays on the pause menu depending on what you're feeling. In the game's post-launch content updates, additional music came as part of it, which expanded to genres like jungle and drum and bass for even more varied moods. How cool it would have been to have the soundtrack released on cassette tapes, for that extra bit of nostalgia. Slipstream offers a healthy amount of modes to get your retro arcade racing fix. The main course is the Grand Tour, featuring the OutRun style branching paths and checkpoints, as you race your way through 5 stages at a time to reach the end before time runs out. In addition to avoiding traffic, each stage also has a rival to beat as an added challenge. Finding the right moment to slip past them keeps them from becoming too much of a threat. As you progress through stages, the traffic becomes denser, so don't get too comfy or a rival might surprise you. There's a few options for playing through a Grand Tour. The normal and reverse options have stages in a set order, and the race progresses from morning to day, sunset, and night as you come up to each branch and reach the next checkpoint. There's also the random option that mixes up any available tracks to show up in the 15-stage pool, so you can start out, branch off, and end up anywhere and everywhere. If you want to play through stages in any order of your choosing, there's the Cannonball mode, which also includes options to race against other cars, tweak traffic, and disable rivals. Single race lets you race on any track for multiple laps, so if one quick pass through your favorite stage wasn't enough, you can spend more quality time on them here. If you want to show off how quick you are for leaderboard purposes, time trials give you 3 laps to post your best lap and total times on a given track, but without any traffic for slipstreaming, just your own driving skills. If you have a friend or 3 around, the game also supports 4-way split-screen multiplayer on most of the race modes. The Battle Royale mode is an elimination and endurance race, where you and your rivals drive through stages cannonball style, but whoever's in last place as everyone else reaches the next checkpoint gets eliminated. Things really heat up as the field thins out, and the room for error lessens as the remaining cars pass you. Finally, there's the Grand Prix mode, where you race through cups of 4-lap races on 5 tracks at a time, earning points based on your finish position. While you have the option to race with your car as is, the more expressive way to play is with custom cars, where you can spend money won in races to improve your car's stats. You're free to improve in areas that your car normally struggles with to make them easier to drive, or double down on its strong suits to make them even better. Winning the first 3 cups is also how to unlock the 4th cup containing 5 extra tracks, which is totally worth it for how rad some of them are. All the modes are great fun, but I find myself constantly coming back to do randomized Grand Tour runs. Mixing the freeform OutRun mode with the surprise of not knowing which stages you're going to get next never gets old. While I played Slipstream for a bit a few years ago, and remember liking it, spending a lot more time with it on this revisit made me realize that I don't just like this game, I love it. The driving feel and mechanics, plus the impressive visuals and soundtrack, make this game in line to what OutRun getting the Sonic Mania treatment would probably be like in all the best ways. If you love any of the OutRun games, you owe it to yourself to try this game if you haven't already. I doubt you'll be disappointed. And it's thanks to all the kind comments I've gotten on my channel suggesting this game that got me to give Slipstream another shot in the first place and made this video possible. So I hope you all know that while it took some time, your words didn't fall on deaf ears. As always, this has been fun, and I'm already looking forward to covering another amazing racing game. So I hope you'll check out what I've got in store for next time, and thank you for watching.